So now they want us to write the summation notation. They're going to give us this sum of terms that they want added up, and we have to write the notation. So you have to come up with three things. You have to know the generator, the term generator, and then you have to have the lower limit and the upper limit. Okay. Now, some suggestions. Keep it simple. You could make it all fancy. There's like lots of creative ways. Keep it simple. Simplify. Keep it simple. But I wouldn't do that. Like if you wanted to make it go from 23 to 100 or something, you could, but I would try to do what's natural and keep things easier for yourself. You'll see that on the first one. The other thing is look for what's different in the terms and what's the same. That will help you. Okay, so we'll just dive in here. So here's the first one. I've got 1 cubed plus 2 cubed plus 3 cubed plus dot 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 to 7 cubed. Okay, so I'm going to put the summation. There's the sigma. And it seems like it's going, the 1 is changing, then to 2, then to 3, up to 7. So it seems natural to say, now you get to pick what you want for the index. I'm going to use I. You could use N or K, but really any letter. Usually they just use either I, N, or K, but so I is going from, now what am I going from? 1 to 2 to 3 to up to 7. So from 1 to 7. So I know the lower limit and the upper limit. Now how am I getting each of those terms? Well, I'm taking the I and I'm cubing it. Now, if you want to put this in parentheses, that's a good idea, but I'll leave that up to you. Okay, there, it's written in sigma notation. That one's about as simple as it could get. You notice what stayed the same. It was always a 3. It was the cube that was staying the same. And then what was changing? The base was changing. 1 to 2 to 3. That's what we want to make I. Okay? All right. And so you can say, well, some of these might be complicated. They might be. This one's a little more complicated here. There's some good news and some bad news. We see we're starting at 1, then we're going to 1/3, 1/9, 1/27, dot, dot, dot. And then they tell us the generator. Yay. They tell us how to get the last term. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using summation. And then we're going to go with another index of I. And we're going to have to wait on that for a minute. This is the generator. So it's going to be 1 over 3I minus 1. Now that is the exponent, I minus 1. So we have to write that carefully. Again, you can put that in parentheses. It would be nice. Now, when am I stopping? What's the upper limit? When I is n. So that's the upper limit. Now the tricky thing on this one is what's the lower limit? Well, if I put in 1, do I get an output of 1? That's what you've got to check. So if I say 1 over 3 to the 1 minus 1, what is that? That's 1 over 3 to the 0, which is 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay, that's great. Then that works. So I'm starting at 1, and you could check the next term. What's 1 over 3 to the 2 minus 1? Well, that's 1 over 3 to the first. Yeah, that's 1/3. And then you can see, okay, you can check the other terms if you want, but that's enough. Okay, there you go. So that's how we're writing the summation notation. I seem to put the lower bar, but not the upper one.